Hey, what's up guys? This is T-Bone here. Welcome back to another episode of playing Gemstone Legends. Now this is going to be a relatively short video and a more basic one, like a tutorial video for those of you who might be just starting out. And maybe this will be useful for some of you as well as you look at how you can balance your heroes to maximize damage. And so we're going to take a look at Rogar as an example. So Rogar's special ability deals damage to a single enemy based on 390% of his attack at maximum value, at maximum skills, and we're going to not worry about the ignore 20% defense for now. Okay, and the way this works is it's always going to be your, let's say in Rogar's case, is whatever attack value you place on him with a multiplier that you have from the special ability. We're not going to worry about his passive ability at this point. We're going to just do very basic calculation here, and then critical damage. Critical damage, basically the way it works is if it's 100% critical damage, then whatever attack after multiplier numbers you get becomes. If it's 100%, you basically double it. So let's say your attack after multiplier is 1000, all right? With 100% critical damage, you're going to end up with 2000 damage. So anything beyond 100% means you're more than doubling your final damage output. And so it is important for you to also make sure that you increase it. So in this case, for Rogar, I have him at 5839 and critical damage is at 136%. It actually is a pretty good output, but we can actually do better. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to take a look at the glove as the gear here, because gloves are the only thing in the game that gives you critical damage as the primary attribute. And so you can see here, this is the only one that gloves are the only one that can give you critical damage. And what we're trying to do here is we're trying to see if we raised critical damage but then lowered some attack, whether we're going to get better damage or not. And so if you take a look at right now, I have 50% attack here, and I have 10% critical damage as well as for the glove, and everything else we're not going to worry about it right now. All right. And so I have a glove here that does give me 65% additional critical damage, minus the 10 that I get from the existing one. So you can see that I'm actually going to increase my critical damage by 55%. But if you look at the attack value, I'm losing an additional 676 attack. And so if you kind of think about the special skills and what that means to your output, you might think that you're going to lose damage overall. But turns out that's not actually the case. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the calculation I did here. All right. So this is my Rogar that I originally started with. All right. So we had 5839. That's our attack value. And 3.9, that's the multiplier. This is where it said 390% of my attack goes as a multiplier for my special ability. And what that gives me is over 22,000 attack. Okay. And then I have a critical damage of 1.36. And if you take a look at the output here, I actually end up with a little over 53,000 with this multiplier. You can see how I calculated up above. Okay, where I have my calculation here, and then this is the calculation that you get for the final output with the critical damage. And then if I were to apply my glove here, remember the glove that I have is with 65%, critical damage and negative, and then I subtract 667 attack here. So you can see that my attack is lowered, my multiplier stays the same because the skill hasn't changed, and my attack with the multiplier therefore is lower. Okay, so my attack after the multiplier drops down to 20,000 instead of 22,000, but with my critical damage now increased up to 1.91 because of the additional 55% I'm getting, my final output actually jumps up to about 58,000 with an additional, almost 5,000 more damage. Okay, and so if you do a little bit of a calculation here, you'll end up finding out that dropping your attack a little bit to raise your critical damage can actually improve your damage most of the time. And so, what you can do is, I'm showing this so you can do this on paper, like without changing your gears to test out. You can actually see for yourself by some theory crafting that it's actually working. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be re-recording this part because the previous version was too loud. So we're going to take a look at the first case here. With our original glove, our attack value is at 8759 after bonus with 136 critical damage. So if we take a look at the amount of damage you can deal, it's about 57,000. Right, this is with the same buff across both cases. Now we're going to take a look with the updated glove. In this new glove, what's changed here is we have a reduced amount of attack, but our critical damage is increased now up to 191%. In the numbers that we saw earlier, we should deal more damage, and we can take a look here. We're at 61,000, giving us a little over 5,000 damage. Now, if I can keep my critical damage high and also keep my attack the same, then obviously I'm going to get even more damage output. So like that part is obvious. But what I wanted to showcase here is even if you're going to drop your attack so that you can get more critical damage in there, it's not always going to mean that you're going to reduce your damage. And so when you're doing your, when you're doing your planning for what gears you should put on, doing some sort of a calculation like this is going to help you tremendously so that you can end up with higher damage for your hero for your fights. And you can do this without costing too much gold, because then you don't have to go back and forth, because you would have this number to go with. So that's all I'm going to show you for today. Hopefully this helps you. Let me know if you have any questions below. I'm happy to engage in conversations in Discord, or if you comment below, I will also be happy to answer any of your questions. Anyways, that's going to be it for me for today, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye now.